Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber Internet, streaming TV, home security and automation in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. The state is pumping millions of dollars into improving broadband access in rural areas. It's an idea that has a lot of support, but making it happen won't be easy.
It does not reward a provider to spend $35,000 per mile to lay fiber when they're counting on a take rate of 50%.
Jail overcrowding is a statewide, even national problem. Ahead a look at the fix one local county is considering. And former Indiana Congressman Lee Hamilton served as vice chair of the 9/11 Commission that investigated the September 11th attacks. Coming up, why he says the threat of global extremism is worse today than 17 years ago. Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Governor Eric Holcomb's recently released infrastructure plan includes $100 million for rural broadband. Those dollars could incentivize internet providers to expand broadband to areas that may have been left out. My colleague Brock Turner joins us now with more. Brock.
Thanks, Joe. When the governor announced his $1 billion infrastructure plan, most people were talking about I-69's advanced completion date. While getting telecom companies to run high-speed internet from rural areas doesn't sound like finishing I-69, it could carry very similar economic benefits. Estimates put the number of Hoosiers without a reliable internet connection at 93,000. That's about 1 out of every 10 Hoosiers living in rural counties. Among them is Shay Keller.
I think internet is just becoming bigger and bigger, and everything is on the internet now.
She's a senior at Brown County High School. Every student here gets a laptop through a new initiative designed to prepare kids for the 21st century. The issue Shay faces is how to get her work done when she's at home, where she doesn't have a reliable internet connection.
Usually I have to travel to either my grandparents' house down the road or my uncle's house, and if their internet is down, then I travel to Van Buren Elementary, which is just down the road, 5 minutes away, and I'll sit in the parking lot and do homework.
Lieutenant Governor Suzanne Crouch debuted a map this summer outlining broadband coverage across the state. It painted a clearer picture on where coverage gaps exist, but it's not entirely accurate. Broadband maps rely on data carriers to self-report. All carriers in Indiana have their own territory to cover. Within that territory can be a number of census blocks. In densely populated areas, the census blocks are small. In rural areas, they tend to be much larger. That can cause discrepancies in coverage. Carriers usually mark an entire block as having coverage, even when some customers in the block don't.
Right now, it's not that we're shooting in the dark, but we're kind of don't have accurate data, and it's hard to validate that data. So I hope that the next step is, okay, let the providers continue to report that. That's at the federal level, but at the state level, let's validate that data.
But industry leaders say access is only part of the problem. The other consideration is adoption. Indiana Broadband and Technology Association President John Coppin says in a lot of places where broadband is available, adoption is poor.
It does not reward a provider to spend $35,000 per mile to lay fiber when they're counting on a take rate of 50% to get 10% because now they have stranded investment.
Building that last mile is important. Without it, many Hoosiers in rural areas are left without service. But it's expensive. Costs per mile of fiber can vary anywhere from $35,000 to well over $50,000 when geography presents a challenge. In areas like these, crews have to string fiber cable through dense forests. If the expected adoption rate isn't achieved, providers could lose millions. Dave Broden is the COO at Smithville Fiber. The company's territory includes a lot of rural areas. He's hopeful Smithville can take advantage of the state's grant program, but in the past, he says, incentive programs haven't been worth the additional regulatory costs.
You had to compare maybe the hoops you have to jump through to do the grant versus funding it ourselves, and so we ended up just continuing to fund the builds ourselves.
That's why the Lieutenant Governor and Indiana's new Director of Broadband Opportunities are working together with industry leaders and state agencies to plan how the $100 million will be disseminated and when.
We expect by the fourth quarter to be able to have that grant program in place so that then providers can go ahead and start looking at how they are going to expand broadband throughout rural Indiana.
Crouch believes an answer and faster speeds are on the horizon soon. One possible vehicle for expanding internet coverage is rural electric cooperatives. They were formed about 75 years ago to bring electricity to rural America. In Indiana, they now serve more than 1.3 million Hoosiers. Many of them are looking at the future and thinking how they can have a similar success with the internet. Bowers estimates REMCs have already invested $300 million in broadband infrastructure.
The cooperative is typically going to try to provide the service to all of their members or make it available to all of their members. So that creates a different dynamic as opposed to just being able to identify a specific area and going, okay, we're going to offer to this, and because it makes sense as it relates to the return on the investment.
SCI REMC, which serves a large portion of Brown County, is doing just that. The co-op is building a network that will take fiber to the last mile. It's an $80 million investment that could finally help Shay access the internet from her home. In the meantime, she has to continue with her routine. While the lack of internet at present is a challenge, it's all she's ever known.
Once you get used to it, it becomes a lot easier. And it makes me a better student because I can, really rely on myself that way.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Brock Turner. Joe, this is a bundle of fiber optic lines. They hang these from existing power lines, and just one of these small cables can carry 100 gigabytes of data per second. So if they can get fiber infrastructure in place, it could serve communities well into the future.
All right, Brock, great report. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bloomington residents opposed to a proposed deer call at Griffey Lake say they want to see more data that shows the call is necessary. The proposed call would allow nearly 30 trained local hunters to kill deer this fall at the nature preserve. The city has to amend its code to allow local hunters to conduct the call. At a council meeting this week, public comment wasn't about who should do the call, but rather whether it was needed at all. Bloomington resident Ann Steerling says she's seen varying deer population estimates and hopes for a more in-depth analysis before a decision is made.
How is that population expected to withstand being able to provide 220 hunting opportunities for folks who are not necessarily even from Bloomington, coming in from outside of our city, displacing taxpayers?
The city's Parks Department says they're unsure how many deer are currently in the preserve, but research suggests maintaining 1 deer per 5 square feet to control the population. The city contracted with White Buffalo Inc. last year to facilitate a deer call that cost roughly $43,000. The proposed local hunter-led call would cost approximately $14,000, nearly 1/3 of the previous cost. Todd Gaines travels from Lawrence County to fish at Griffey Lake. He says he would support a deer call as long as safety remains a priority.
If you got a big enough area and you know there's no trails or residential, then yeah, that'd be a fine thing, but you gotta be careful how far you spread that out.
If approved, the organized call would be scheduled to begin November 17th. The council will consider public comments and discuss the proposal again at a hearing next week. Former Indiana Congressman Lee Hamilton received the Patriot Award earlier this week, partly for his work as the vice chairman of the 9/11 Commission. I sat down with Congressman Hamilton to talk about how the world has changed since then and what that means for national security. So I wanted to bring up the new report that you were a part of. It's an interim report on that indicates extremism is even more so a threat than it was 17 years ago, which is the anniversary of 9/11. How has that threat evolved over the years?
Well, I think we've made a lot of progress. We've killed a lot of bad people, terrorists who want to attack us. We've reduced the size of the territory they control sharply. But we have not been able to prevent them from growing in number. They've rapidly increased to well over 10,000 now worldwide, and they are active in the last count I saw about 20 countries. So progress has been made, but they've also evolved and become more lethal.
But this has been a costly government, military event over the past few years. What's not being done?
So what we want to do here is strengthen the resilience of the fragile states, the incubators of terrorism, and make those societies more resilient and healthier, and thereby reduce terrorists and the number of attacks. That's a formidable task.
Yeah, and is that all based on military, or is it more than military?
Oh, it's much more than military. We've had several pillars to our strategy. One is to attack. We kill the terrorists. We've been reasonably successful at that, but they keep coming. The second part of it is to protect the homeland, to strengthen our defenses. We've been reasonably successful at that. The third pillar of our strategy is to prevent the rise of terrorism. We've not been so good at that, and that's what we're trying to strengthen now. Prevent the causes of terrorism.
I wanted to ask you, this was the 17th anniversary of 9/11 this past Tuesday. What always strikes me is how long it took for the media to really understand what was going on, because it didn't seem like it was on anyone's minds that anything that large could happen. Could something to that scale happen again, and is the U.S. ready to be prepared for that?
We have to keep our guard up. We can't be complacent. We still have the thought in our minds that these vast oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific, protect us. That's been true for much of our history. No longer, because those oceans can be jumped. And so we have to continue at all the things I was talking about. You don't complete those jobs. They are generational challenges. So you have to get better striking them militarily. You have to get better in protecting yourselves, evolving strategies to get at you. You have to be prepared for that. And you have to get better at preventing the growth of extremism. I don't think this is something that we're going to solve next year or 2 years from now. I think it's a long-term strategy. This is a new challenge for American foreign policy. And it's going to be a part of our foreign policy now for decades to come. It's going to be expensive, not as expensive as fighting a war, but it's going to be expensive. You're going to have highly skilled people. How do you prevent the hacking, for example? And it's a formidable challenge that we have ahead of us.
Now for headlines, we go over to Lindsay Wright, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Hey, Joe, thanks. A super PAC connected to Republican Senate Leader Mitch McConnell is spending nearly $1.5 million on an ad campaign for Senate GOP candidate Mike Braun. The campaign will air across multiple platforms throughout the state. The former state lawmaker and businessman is running against Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly. Public health experts say Indiana has a long way to go when it comes to preventing tobacco use. Officials say the problem needs even more attention as young kids use e-cigarettes.
Indiana ranks near the bottom in most public health categories, but these folks want to see a change. Obesity, infant mortality, and the opioid crisis were just a few of the topics discussed this week during a town hall hosted by the Alliance for a Healthier Indiana. Carol Weiss-Kennedy says many of the health issues Hoosiers struggle with come back to tobacco use. She says Indiana has one of the highest adult smoking rates.
It's called Tobacco Nation. This is a grouping of about 12 to 13 states. We are one of those states.
A group passed out cards to attendees and plans to send them to legislators demanding a cigarette tax increase. It's an effort that has failed in the past, but experts say it's a proven way to prevent people from using tobacco. Weiss-Kennedy says many young people are turning to e-cigarettes because it's framed as a healthier option, but she says it's not.
Science is always there. It's just not as sexy as the tobacco companies, I think, can make their products look.
Members of the state's Water Infrastructure Task Force say long-term improvements to the state's water systems will cost billions of dollars. The state task force had its first official meeting this week. Several presenters suggested breaking up the state into water regions to allow each area to address its own needs.
Conversations that take place among water users who share the resource. Okay, that's what's needed. That's what's been identified.
Whitman says as the state's infrastructure continues to age, the cost to make repairs and improvements will only get higher. He says taxpayers will have to cover that cost. Officials say the state needs a single point of contact for human trafficking victims to access the services they need. Right now, they say victims and their advocates don't necessarily know where to go for services.
Right now we have disparate agencies doing their thing and doing it well, but no one knows what they're doing.
Lawmakers are considering whether to create a new state agency to help address the problem. Well, after 2 months of fundraising, a youth-led effort to bring a skate park to Brown County has reached its goal. Kids on Wheels raised $50,000. Construction on the project will begin in Deer Run Park in Nashville next spring. Well, no one likes sitting in traffic, but what about sitting and watching it go by? That's the idea behind a new park in Indianapolis. It sits on a strip of land that overlooks Interstate 65 and 70. Nearly 200 people donated to help fund that park. $20,000 is set aside for continued maintenance. Joe, you want to watch some traffic?
Maybe it's different if you're not actually in it and you're sitting outside.
I've heard the sound is relaxing to people.
Okay, thanks, Lindsay. I'll take your word for it. Thanks,
All
Lindsay.
right.
Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. New mothers in Indiana are dying at higher rates. Ahead, we'll look at maternal mortality and why it's a problem in Indiana. And this nearly 5-story tall kinetic sculpture is in an unusual place. We talked to a Bloomington resident who wants to know why. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
The WTIU WFIU news team connects Indiana to the world. We bring you the top news of the day on radio, TV, and online. We round up the stories that have people talking each week and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. The WTIU WFIU news team is where you are and telling your story.
In a time of change, where can you find in-depth reporting and thoughtful analysis? Washington Week on PBS. Join moderator Robert Costa.
When I was at the Capitol this week, I encountered the same.
And a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing.
For insights and perspective.
Tonight there was a key development in the
Senate. You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. After a referendum to help fund a new $55 million jail in Hancock County failed earlier this year, the sheriff is trying to come up with a more creative solution to overcrowding. Barbara Brozier has more.
The Hancock County Sheriff says for just a portion of the cost of building a brand new jail, they can set up a temporary facility here in this field on US 40. That would be very helpful for a day like today when there are 241 inmates in a county jail that was designed to hold less than 160. But you might be surprised to find out how they plan to build this temporary facility.
Basically, they're semi-trailers.
You heard that right. The Hancock County Sheriff's Department thinks semi-trailers could be the solution to their ongoing problems with jail overcrowding. A Missouri company would weld 20 of the trailers together to build another facility where the county could house up to 146 minimum and medium security inmates.
This is going to be an open dorm concept. So that our staff members will have a control room that we can look and observe both sides. And there'll be a divider wall that divides the two classifications.
County officials insist the trailers are secure and say they're forced to consider the option after taxpayers voted down a referendum for a new jail. They still plan to build one eventually, but say something's got to give in the meantime.
That's the thing we're looking at, is what can we do now to make sure that we don't get ourselves in some type of federal lawsuit and end up paying dearly.
The temporary facility could cost up to $9 million. The county council wants to use bonds to fund the project and just approved money to support 16 staff positions. The next step is for the county commissioners to approve this proposal. As for a more permanent solution of building a new jail, the county still has to figure the funding portion of that out, and they need to wait at least 2 years after this previous referendum failed to bring it back to taxpayers. Reporting in Hancock County, I'm Barbara Brozier for Indiana Newsdesk.
Well, the maternal mortality rate in the United States has steadily increased over the past 10 years. Here, things are even worse. Indiana has the third highest rate of maternal mortality in the nation. Alex Eady joins us on set to discuss those statistics and how members of the Bloomington community are working toward a solution. Alex, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Joe.
So what are some of those factors?
Yeah, so between 700 and 900 women in the U.S. die each year, according to the CDC. And it's important to note that these are deaths that are occurring before, during, and after pregnancy. So in the state alone, Indiana is largely rural. Not all counties have hospitals, and also wages in Indiana are statistically low. So not everyone has the access to health care. On top of that, data shows that non-Hispanic Black women in the U.S. are 243% more likely to die from childbirth causes than white women. So we see that there's a huge racial disparity with that. But it's important that populations who are most at risk are getting the access to resources that they need from their communities.
So how are advocates in Bloomington working to bring attention to this issue?
Yeah, so last night a local advocacy group hosted a discussion with experts to talk about the issue, and they also mentioned that maternal mortality has a review board which formed just this year. And so the committee is made up of health officials and different individuals who review each case and go in and investigate the causes of each of these deaths.
So there seems this is a huge issue to tackle. What are some of the other ways that this can be solved?
Yeah, so experts from the panel really stress that informed consent between providers and patients is key, and being able to practice more individualized care with each of the mothers and really deciding what each mother needs is key to solving this issue.
Alex, thank you so much.
Thank you, Joe.
Indiana's Task Force 1 is primed to aid FEMA with the aftermath of Hurricane Florence, and they brought along a new piece of technology from Indiana University to help. It's called SpiderLink, and it allows members of Task Force 1 to more quickly upload pictures and documents for storm assessment.
Well, you can have 8 people doing it at the same time, right? So, you know, in my world of research technologies and running the supercomputers for IU, an 8x speed up is always good.
He says the device came out of a close relationship between IU and local first responders. Task Force 1 begins their disaster relief efforts in Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, we believe great journalism starts with great questions, so we're answering yours. Our next question from our Inquire Indiana segment comes from a viewer who wants to know more about a public art sculpture.
My question is about this piece of public art here. It's entitled Untitled 2001, and I love it. What's weird about it is it's behind a strip mall in town, and I want to know how it got here and what the artist was trying to do with it.
He's referring to the art that sits behind Lowe's and Bed Bath & Beyond on Bloomington's west side. Property manager Whitney Gates says it's a wind sculpture. Each arm moves independently with the wind.
We wanted something to be a conversation piece when people drove by, and there used to be a picnic table there for the the employees to sit out and eat lunch.
The sculpture is almost 5 stories tall when its fingers point to the sky. Artist Stephen Powell, who was at IU at the time, designed it with iridescent paint that catches the light and changes colors. Gates says his office came across Powell's mock-up of the artwork and offered him a spot to build it. They added trees and grass to make it a more suitable break area.
We've had a number of questions over the years. Normally it's the letter to the editor or somebody write into the hotline and say, hey, what is that thing?
And we want to explore the questions you have about Indiana, and you can even be part of the process as we find the answers. Just go to WTIU.org/inquireindiana and submit your question there. That's all the time we have. Our work continues at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Mallard Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.